And so emotional stability is, first of all, we have to look at what is emotion, and then we have to look at what is stability. And so we've all been on a long journey, and emotion is something that we've collected on our journey, and we have different kinds of emotion. We have sad emotions, and we have good feelings, and what we might call at this point good emotions. And so the other emotions are the fear and the worry and concern, apprehension, dislike and jealousy, the things that we've picked up on our journey. And when we come to look at meditation, what we look at is the other side of that coin. The other side of that coin is the peace, the love, the happiness. And so, purest energy. Originally, we're purest energy. And our original nature, as we know, is peace. And love is the energy we use for interaction. We speak to each other and communicate with nature, with other people, with possessions, with everything, and the feelings that are generated through those interactions. And we say that we've become very conscious of being physical. And being conscious of being physical, this is where all the negative emotions have come, because we like or we dislike. And then we're scared of things, etc., etc. And in meditation, we're looking at the wonder. And when I look at is this me? What me do I want to be? It's my journey. I've come on that long journey. Do I want to be angry and jealous? Yes, I want to be like that. I've got it. I'll have it in me because of the journey. But do I want to keep that? And so if I want to change it, I have to change it from the inside out. And if I change it from the inside out, then I have to look at how do I think? Because the seed of everything is my thoughts. So I have to look at, what am I thinking? How do I feel? And how am I going to express? So when I practice being calm and still and steady and peaceful, then that steadiness enables me to see more clearly, that calmness, that cool, calm energy. And from that cool, calm energy can come a more loving feeling, which can take me to feeling more light-hearted. Om Shanti. Now we're going to do a short meditation on the power of peace. Peace is my original nature. And when I think of peace and look inside myself and feel calm, I encourage myself to stay cool, steady, and tranquil. I am a point of energy, a point of focus where I create my peaceful thoughts in the center of my forehead. So to look inside encourage and reassure myself to be peaceful, steady, still. I am peace. I am living life energy. I am a light inside. So to relax, reassure myself to be cool, calm and steady, to slow down my thinking. I am peace. I am peace. I am a soul. I am peace. I am a soul. Om Shanti. To become peaceful doesn't mean that, that's just absolutely the answer. To become peaceful is to be able to look at yourself. I've practiced, sometimes people think silence is just sitting in absolute silence and never looking at what's going on inside my head. What thoughts am I having? And if I look at the thoughts I'm having, and then I can do something about it, it's not to hide my feelings. To become peaceful isn't to hide my feelings, but to become aware, very aware of what I'm thinking. But also to become aware of what I'm now capable of. I'm capable of actually doing something different. And I think that the more I'm aware of doing something different, I begin to understand the strength that's actually within me, because I've been on a long journey and I must have gone through many, many scenes and situations, and yet here I am. And yeah, everything's recorded and it's all there. But now's the time when I can have a look at the recording and decide I will record something different now for the rest of my journey. I can make that choice. So how can I change sometimes waves of emotion that come from the past? What can I do about this? Just observe, really. It's only when I observe that I can understand, and I need to have patience. And this is when the patience with the self and just these different feelings in the self of wanting to know and wanting to understand, and then use the energy of consoling myself, like it's okay. Just like you would speak to a child, it's okay. It's fine. Everything's okay. Because it's from the past and it actually can't really harm you now unless you let it pop out and explode and start to really trouble you now. And maybe for a while it will trouble you. But it's understanding there is no magic wand. We cannot go, that's it, just like in a cartoon, we can't just go and make it disappear. I have to make it disappear slowly. It's something that erodes, I found. Slowly it softens. It softens through me just becoming more and more disenchanted by that sadness. Disenchanted. Well, I think what happens next is that as you become, if you practice, though you see, I think it's about practicing the meditation. If we're not doing meditation, this is just like a story. And the point is, it is our story. It's our individual story. And the thing is, our own story is written on our heart. And often we hear the phrase, look into the mirror of your heart. And unless you look into the mirror of your heart, you're not going to see the wonder of what's written in there. Because especially if you were to look at what's been happening to you as much as you can remember and see how you came through various situations. And as you come through the various situations, and some of them would be daunting, and those daunting situations would be what brought me to here. I came here going through those daunting situations, and as I went through those daunting situations, here I am. I'm still here, I'm still okay. I can still laugh, can be light-hearted. I'm still quite healthy, I'm still okay. I'm still alive and thinking and deciding and doing. So those emotions can teach me. They can teach me that they weren't so dangerous as I've now made them out to be. And the other thing, if I could find out and see about emotion, is that they grow. They would start off so tiny, and every time I'd go through a similar kind of emotion and I reacted, that emotion would grow and it would develop. So anything is like an illness. It would grow and develop and grow and develop and grow and develop until it reached a stage where I think, what's going on? This is so painful because it grew, but how did it grow? I made it grow. I encouraged it to grow through going through different various situations. The emotion grew. So when I know and have the understanding that this emotion and these emotions grow, I know that I don't need to grow them anymore. I can stop growing them, start growing something different. We talk about a garden. The garden is the garden of the way you think. Instead of growing painful things, let me grow things that make me feel happy and light-hearted. Om Shanti. Love is the most beautiful energy in our nature. It's our energy of interaction. And when I create beautiful thoughts and feelings, I'm actually creating the vibration inside me of love. And this vibration of love can touch the hearts of others. This vibration of love is full of self-respect and looking inside I can practice soothing the self. The soul is light. It's gentle, it's kind, it's encouraging, and it's relaxed. And when I think of love, my nature can then be generous. And so it enables me to share this energy of love with others. And so focusing on the soul in the center of the forehead, I am light, and a very beautiful aspect of my natural self is love. And I can feel I wish to share this love first with myself, and then share this energy of love in my interaction with others, because I am love. I am the energy of love. Om Shanti. And so someone once asked me, why did we allow this to happen in the first place? Because energy goes down, and that which was beautiful and easy and light changed and wasn't quite so easy. Energy goes down. I lose my power slowly, very slowly. And everyone else is losing their energy also. And I'm interacting with others all the time. And I'm in so many different situations all the time with different people, different things happening. And so all the time my energy is going down. Other people's energies are going down. And so those energies going down lose the strength to smile, lose the strength to say nice things, lose the power to be loving, lose the power to be steady, lose the power to be capable, to be stable, to be cool, lose that power to have love. And then we start to equate love with gifts and flowers and money and position and fashion and beauty, empty words. And we want to believe the empty words, and as we believe the empty words and they're not true, our heart breaks. When our heart breaks, very, very big emotion. And we also develop mistrust after that. We start to not trust and not believe and not have faith in what others are saying or doing, and we become apprehensive, and we don't want to put our faith in whatever it is because we'll get hurt. And so we defend, and so this huge energy of defense comes up, where we've got the defense up very quickly. And so our hearts start to close. as our hearts start to close, I shut others out, even though I pretend, and it looks as if I'm so happy, so friendly, I have so many people around me, but I'm closing them out. And that's when I start the I, me, but I'm actually also closing out me. When the wonder of Raj Yoga meditation, when I find out that I'm a soul, wow, such a relief. There's something I can do about this. And in many cases, for many people, it doesn't matter how much they're surrounded by the wealth and the beauty and the friends and the family. They're able to pull their head into some form of seeing what's actually possible now. And the thing is that we can be such a benefit to the people around us, because it just takes one person to be able to see how it works. And then by practicing the meditation, even one person, we stop the reaction, or we do our best, it begins to stop. I don't say that it's instant, but we begin to do things a bit differently. And as we do things a bit differently, we're able to feel the benefit, feel the benefit, feel the benefit. And most people I know that I've met will say, oh, wish I'd known about this years ago. And a lot of people say that their families, their friends, their relatives will say, what a change in you, what a difference. What a wonder, this is amazing, because it's impacting on them too, because they'll say, you don't argue with me anymore, or you don't compete with me anymore, you don't criticize me anymore. So they say when I change, the world changes. So we don't change the whole world on our own, but we change the world around us. That is, the people we're in connection with feel the benefit. And I myself will feel the benefit. So, Raj Yoga meditation, that time to take time to spend in stillness, self-reflection, and seeing what's actually happening inside. So from the inside out, I can begin to change my world. So how do I do this? What's the first steps in meditation? I can only talk from my own experience. I can't talk for anyone else's experience, but you do need support. I feel that if at first I was so enthusiastic for myself that doing everything I could to sit in the morning and do my meditation and listen to classes on meditation and go to classes on meditation in the morning and do all of this. And that is wonderful. It begins to open you up to possibilities. But I found that when I start to actually think about the one who's ever pure and trust, because we've put up the defense, this is the one I don't need to defend myself against. And this is the one I can trust. So I can tell that one everything. It's almost like being able to put everything out, pour everything out that's in my heart. Tell it all. Tell everything. All the things that have troubled the soul. To pour that out and feel a safety in this. if I can have the courage and the feeling to do this, such a relief begins to come to the soul. A feeling of lightness begins to develop. A feeling of someone understands me. Someone is actually supporting me, helping me. Someone's there for me, not for themselves. Nothing selfish within this. And that feeling, I begin to feel loved. That love is so powerful. I've never felt it for such a long time. It's not just relief and it's not just peace. It's a feeling of being loved and of actually someone feeling that you're worthwhile, that you are actually valuable. And I found that's the only way that I would ever have felt that. Because people don't know themselves and they're busy. They're busy with whatever it is that's happening around them. Too busy to see that I'm valuable. What would I take away from this? One thing. The one thing I would take away actually is don't hide anything. Don't hide your weaknesses from yourself, because then you're going nowhere. If you can't look at yourself, open up to yourself, how can you open up to anybody else? Never mind God. How can you then understand yourself? How can you understand others? How can you open your heart to God and say, look, I have to be able to open up and expose that which is raw and very uncomfortable to begin with. This is my experience. And then I can feel the soothing, we talk about the ointment of knowledge, the ointment of understanding that this is what it's all about and it's okay. That's what I would take away. Om Shanti. As I get to know myself, I can feel happiness inside. Because practice of inner stillness, the stillness of peace, love, encourages another energy inside me, the energy of happiness. Happiness allows me, I, the soul, to have uplifting thoughts, to have soft, quiet contentment. Happiness enables within me a new energy of self-respect. Happiness allows me to understand myself, others, and a world family. It allows me to understand the self and others. And for happiness, the more I turn towards my original nature of peace, and then feel feelings of well-being and love for myself, I feel beautiful vibrations to share with the world and the world family of happiness. Feelings of self-respect and contentment, uplifting thoughts of understanding, and love for the world. Om Shanti. Do our best to answer some of the questions that people are asking. And the question we thought might be very helpful is, where is the best place to meditate? I can only always talk from my own experience that you will find the best place to meditate depending on your life circumstances. And some people would go to their car and sit and meditate. I know that when I was working, I used to go and sit in a car at lunchtime and do my meditation then. And I'd find other creative ways to allow myself to have some stillness, just to take away the stress of the day. And so it would be whatever would work for you if you want some stillness or silence. And in a morning, we often say that, it's good if you don't make a noise if you have a family, and you have, nowadays technology's moved on, you have headphones and you can creep out and sit down and listen to some stillness to start your day. The question is, how do I separate judging actions from individuals, like the role and the soul? So again, it's very similar to what we were saying, is that it depends whatever role someone is playing. If someone's my boss, for instance, then I do have to comply. I can't say, well, I don't want to do this, or they're bossing me about and I don't like it. If I'm in a job, for instance, I'll be getting paid for doing what that person's telling me. And so I really do have to comply with whatever's required. And it's the same with wherever you live, whatever is the rules, the rule of the city, the rule of whatever's happening around me, I do have to comply. But I can remain soul conscious, I can remain aware of the bigger picture. And if someone is a soul conscious person and they're senior to me, then they tell me something that is good or something that would be appropriate, then for me, I take it that they've got a lot of wisdom, and I listen and I don't feel threatened. And so to judge these actions, you can judge them according to practical common sense, actually. You know, and in your family might not agree with some things you do, but that's really okay, because that's how they are, and that's maybe your family rules. It doesn't mean that inside you have to then say, well, I better not do that because they don't agree, but I can agree enough to keep things okay. I will do, if I have chores to do, I will go to places, I will visit people, I will do what I need to do, I will help with things, I will be as best I can. In fact, we can become a better family member. We won't be so maybe cheeky and arrogant as we were before. We might have a bit more respect for the rules of people who are doing their best to hold things together, because they will be. Everyone's doing everything to hold life together, no matter who they are and where they're coming from. They're doing everything they can think of to make things work. And so I will have a look at the role and the soul, if I'm being soul conscious and understanding the importance of energy and energy patterns. I will do everything to comply without losing my dignity or what I'm understanding and what I'm knowing about myself, others, and life. I'll continue to have respect. I think that's the underlying word, respect. Another question I have here is, sometimes I feel jealous, so how can I overcome this emotion? Very powerful. And it's also sometimes quite subtle, in that maybe you don't really realise you are feeling jealous. And so if it's a big jealousy, it's easier to see. But quite often people will say to me, what do I do here? Or they won't. They will just say how jealous they feel, or they'll just show why have they got that and I've not got that, and how come I've not got this, and how come? My answer always would be, think of the law of energy. Whatever they have, they created it. And whatever they have, if it's something wonderful, they put loads of energy in to create it. And by the law of energy, to create it without it being a totally spiritual wow, they would also have the other side of the coin. They'll have the sadness. For instance, if they have the most beautiful house and family and beautiful clothes and lots of money, and you're jealous, oh, don't be, because the other side is, if anything goes wrong there, their heart will break. If their money goes, they won't know what to do about it. If they lose their house, if any of their family members become sick or leave their bodies, they'll feel so sad. So I say, do you want to have the other side of that? Do you want to walk in their shoes? If you want what they've got, you first of all have to put in the energy they put in to create that. But then you have to be up for the other side of the sadness when that disappears. So why am I jealous? Because to have less of that can be good fortune. Really good fortune. Which is why when we come to spirituality, we're told to have a look at your thoughts, start to calm down, start to not have big desires, live a life that's more simple, whilst living within your family life, but not to keep wishing and hoping for more, because there's no mileage. there's no mileage. The drama of life is shorter than it used to be, and so not to keep wanting to add on. So I'd say have a look at jealousy, and sometimes it's little, and sometimes like, oh, I wish, oh, maybe if I had, or so what? No, don't go there. I would say don't go there. It's an emotion. It's a big emotion, and I'm sure it's developed over a long period of time in all human beings. But now we're looking at things in a different way. Okay, so we have another one here, which is, if someone insults me or criticises me, we've already talked something like this a minute ago, and I replay it over and over. I get sad, then I get angry, and I can't help it, I can't let it go. It is hard to let it go if someone criticises us, because again, it's very similar that, why did they say this? What's happening? Oh, they're criticising me, and I'm doing my best. Sometimes we justify ourselves, but we're not really. It could be true. We've done our best, we've done our best, and yet they're criticising me. I would say that, you know, whatever they're saying, you have to take it that it's beneficial for me. That's the only way forward here. And it'll stop us from, if I keep thinking of the benefit, it can stop me from getting sad and angry, because the more I get sad and angry, the more I'll dislike the person who insulted me. And we don't want to dislike anyone. If I keep disliking someone, then what's the benefit there? What's the benefit for me? What's the benefit for them? What's the vibration I'm putting out? I'm not putting out a good vibration. So let them criticize me. I would say just start to become immune to criticism. This is how I teach myself. Start teaching yourself to become immune to criticism as best we can. Because criticism's taken me everywhere. If I take it the right way, I can become immune to it. To be sad and angry is taking me nowhere. I have to let it go. I have to let go of the sad and angry and just let the criticism float over my head. Okay. So I think the final question I have here is, should I apologise? And people are saying here, I've been emotionally unstable, I've said and done something, and maybe I've hurt another person. So I'm sure we all know the answer to this, because I know for myself, it didn't take me years to get this. The minute I feel I've hurt someone, whether it's even through my thoughts and they don't know it, but if it's through words and some form of interaction, I immediately want to sort it out. But often the other person doesn't want to sort it out because they're hurt. And you have to actually be very tactful and kind and soft and intuitive and subtle and talk to them. And sometimes you can't get the chance to talk to them. They'll go away, they're in a mood, they'll shut you out. But my thought is that you have to do something, because every second that passes they're having thoughts in their heads that are hurting them. And if they're having thoughts in their head that are hurting them, usually the thoughts are about you, but apart from that, these thoughts are going out into the world. So it's thoughts of distress, despair, hurt, anger, disillusioned. This is supposed to be a spiritual person. They've hurt me, they've devastated me. This is, I can't believe this anymore. And so you have to do everything you can think of to put it right. I'm talking from my own experience. It doesn't matter what you have to do and say, cajole, apologize sincerely. Remember, you're a soul. Think of the divine. Think of them as a soul. Think of everything and anything, and think of how you've hurt. It's like almost being a nurse or a doctor to put ointment on the wound. And maybe your intention was not to hurt, but you see the ego, the criticism, you said something, it scratched. You maybe had no intention of hurting, but you scratched. And the scratched caused chaos. I've seen for myself how something exploded in my face when all I was giving was a compliment. The person took the compliment and I was just saying that to please them, and I always found a fault and absolutely went crazy. And I thought, oh, for goodness sake. But I persevered until they saw that when I actually showed them the picture, the mind picture of what I had seen and why I was saying what I was saying, because I saw something really nice, they were sort of amazed, and all was well. But I had to really go for it to get them to see that I had actually been totally not even thinking to hurt them. But sometimes we do hurt people, but I'm just giving an example of how you can be taken the wrong way, or you could have actually said something or done something that hurt or harmed. Because we're all really, we are having a lot of emotion, and our emotions are unstable and they're not always practical. So if I think I've done or said something and hurt another person, I have to put it right. And if I think I haven't actually done anything, but they think I have, I still have to put it right. Because otherwise it will go on in their mind. And they'll continue, and even if they've covered it over and go, well, it's okay now, I'm fine, yes, I do, I understand. No, you have to make it clear. You have to make it clear that you respect them and that you hold them in high esteem, that you see them as very valuable. You really do need to have a spiritual vision in order to make everything okay. Om Shanti. Finally, thank you all very much for listening, and I hope it was all useful for you. And best wishes and lots of love. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Connecting with Soul, the Divine. All souls belong to the One Divine. As I begin to understand the Self as light, as peace, as love, as a being of happiness, I begin to feel there's another as a support. I can feel that feeling of belonging. Of belonging to the whole world. That support, that strength, that company opens a door to the world, for the self, for the soul. I can realize, I can feel that I am a soul. All souls of the world are my brothers. When I have the company of the divine, I can understand I belong to the family of the world. It's steady, its strength. The soul is light. All souls belong to the one divine. I am a soul. Om Shanti.